which is what this thing was really supposed to be. But this whole consciousness came back the last couple of years. What was really supposed to go on when it came to us is an intelligence, which means it's supposed to be a consortium of ideas. Some person finds some stuff, they report this stuff in, and it becomes an intelligence. You see what I'm saying? But you all got that same follow and herd mentality. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is doubled up into this sectarian corner where everybody is actually, I find out now traveling, everybody is actually their own scientist. I get stuff from all over the country, which is what this thing was really supposed to be. But this whole consciousness came back the last couple of years. What was really supposed to go on when it came to us is an intelligence, which means it's supposed to be a consortium of ideas. Some person finds some stuff, they report this stuff in, and it becomes an intelligence. You see what I'm saying? But you all got that same follow and herd mentality. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is doubled up into this sectarian corner where everybody is actually, I find out now traveling, everybody is actually their own scientist. But everybody is actually their own scientist. But everybody is actually their own scientist. If we deal with it, the intellectual level can only take a certain point, to a certain point. Then you have to cross into the spirit level. And the spirit level takes a little bit of confidence in the stuff around you, because you don't have religious doctrine and other things to go by. It's only your own experience in these particular things. See what's coming on here? And so what's going to happen here is now your powers are coming back. We'll go into all of that. But you're going to have to pay attention to very small things. And those small things you pay attention to is going to be the things that's going to help you in this particular power. First thing you got to do is, number one, is this. You got to get out of the fear of what this white man going to do to you. What I'm saying is this. Because part of the Afrocentric community, part of the metaphysical community is you come in and you get all this stuff of what's going to happen to you and will happen to black people. Well, dead black people, shit happens daily. Deal with it. What can you do? They're dead. But when it comes to your conscious self, whenever you contemplate what's going to happen to you, you get this white boy power and you might invoke those things on you and you're protected from that. See what I'm saying? Now this is the key. This is the key. And this is why the brother C. Freeman L., the master, he told us he would say things 10, 15 years ago, 10, 13 years ago, that is just not coming true. But that's a true master. When he first hit you this past stuff, oh, you know, whatever, this nigga crazy. Old ass nigga, you know. But years later, the stuff comes true. So he used to tell us back in 1990 and 1994, quit talking about the white man and complaining about the white man and giving the white man power. You see what I'm saying? Now, you get people coming to you with doom and gloom. And what that does, it cuts your power base, because guess what? The white boy ain't got no power. He's run out of power. His power is fear. If he can get you to believe he's still in power, he can delay your fucking power. Oh, shit. See what I'm saying? He ain't got no power. You see? Nigga getting caught spending $80,000 on prostitutes. Right. What's that? He's in a mess. She ain't got no power. You see? Now, so the key here is you got to get out of this fear. That's all he got. Case in point, King Alpha plan. I used to use it too. Until I found out it was put out by the United States government. And they gave it to the black community. And give you a dossier, a lineup of what they're going to do to you. And you put this shit in your psyche. And guess what? They never have to execute none of that concentration camp and none of that shit. Because they know the rule. The rule is there are devices that's in the body that will come online immediately when the race is threatened or extinction. Now that's the stuff that the East Indian government found out in 1975 when they started studying the chakras and the kundalini. And they basically what they did is they had the government come in and give a grant or allocate funds to study this, and the conclusion was that the chakras, the kundalini, the third eye, and all of this stuff, when you are threatened for extinction, these things come online and you become a Superman. Called Firestarter. Remember the movie Firestarter, the little Drew Barrymore? Start burning up shit. You see what I'm saying? So the key here is to never come in with an army and line you up to go to concentration camps. But the mystery here is to let you think that you're going to a concentration camp and keep the fear on him, because you still think he's all powerful. And everything he ever does to you is covert. What can he do to you that he ain't already did to you? See what I'm saying? So the King Alpha plan was put out by the government for you to respond to, so that you can have a fear. He can't do nothing. You see? See what I'm saying? If you know what time it is and stuff, I'm lonely for action. I'm like, I wish a motherfucker would come up in my space. You see what I'm saying? You see? But I know what I'm capable of doing. You see? What I'm capable of doing. So we got to get out of this fear that all this stuff is going to be done to us. Don't you know when they do shit to you, they never announce it? First of all, the King Alpha plan was taken from a damn novel that some white boy wrote. The government said, hey, this is some good shit right here. It was a fucking sci-fi novel. And they made it policy, and they said, put it out to the black community. Keep them in fear. They can't do shit. You see what I'm saying? That's what time it is. And our magic is stronger now. Fuck around, and they be walking around with little small heads. The only reason why I don't execute this stuff now is because I don't have time. Shit. And I'm too damn lazy. I'm too lazy. I might fuck around and get hungry and say, call it all off. You lucky you're dead, but hell, I got to go get this Big Mac. Take a quarter pound of the cheese.
Yeah, family. Yes. Sunday service. We back in it again. We back here again with my bro God, Kurt.
How you doing, bro?
Yes. It's going down. Kurt is going down. It's going to be a powerful show, powerful episode, family. Yeah. Powerful church service. Man, but I knew the energy was thick. I knew the energy was heavy. Yeah. So we had to start with this George Floyd thing. This whole George Floyd energy that's happening even with the conscious community, even with the spiritual community, even with, all the melanated beings, really, everybody, really. Shout out to Corona, man. We miss you. So, yeah, we got to get it in. So let's get it in. Let's talk about it. Now, look, I did the whole thing with the mask off on Wednesday. And, I was kind of being lazy with it. I never seen the video, the George Floyd video or nothing like that. But I understood that, it was a real big deal now. Now I understand it's a real big deal. But it's still a fear tactic. It's still a play, right? It's still a situation that we're in control of. It's all about us making sure that our minds is right and we're on the right page with this thing. For real. Man, let me shout the family out. Let me find them, man. What's going on? Yeah, I got a new thing, man. Yeah, I got a new bowl. You know what it is. The church service is here, family. Let's get it in.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Kurt. Shout out to D-Ray, man. Y'all
Shout out
know
to
what it
D-Ray,
is.
shout out to
Find the
Dreamer, shout out
video.
to myself.
Peace, peace.
This is gonna be fun times. Where y'all at, man?
Now, look, Kurt, you a special brother. I'm gonna say this right now for the simple fact that our kids,
Yeah.
I can keep my phone unmuted today for the whole time.
Yeah.
That rarely ever happens on Sunday service. So this is about to be powerful. You're not gonna have no little kids popping in asking for snacks and stuff. We are good. Thank you.
Chaos Kid.
Thank you.
Chaos Kids. What up, NFN Shaka? CC, what's good? Evo 7. Malabangwi. Yeah, what's good, family? Kev, what's up? Kamati, Xavier. Panther Mirror, yeah. Ancient Chaos. We all in here. What's up, Kev? You in, man? Okay. Sensei, Harmony, Shine Bright, Star Fantasy, Maria, Mad Titan. What's good, family? The family is here. What's up, Brenda? Self-elevation, man. Y'all the church early today, huh? Y'all got y'all front row seat. That's what I'm talking about. Goddess Yimiya. What's up? Man, we are here. We are Black Widow Divine. What's up, man? Let's get it in. What's up, Roz? You know what it is, Jonathan. Man, Jezebel, what's up? What's up? What's up? Sister L. McWhite. Moraine Ed, what's up, babe? I ain't gonna call you that. Moraine, boy, you know what time it is. Call me after this, Ed. Now, look. So, yeah, this George Floyd thing. So the energy is thick. You know, the automatons, the deads are going to run with the media, right? That's what they're going to do. Look, I got some big things popping off with this mask off thing. And I'm not going to roll it out now. When you see it, you'll just know and you'll feel it. But the idea is a spiritual message. George saying this whole thing, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Okay, well, take that motherfucking mask off then.
Wow.
When we see things symbolically, we start to understand that we need this air to breathe. Why? Because these rays are coming down. These Beetlejuice rays are here, right? So we need to be soaking that shit up all day, every day. Man, what y'all think? Like these riots and protests, what they're gonna all of a sudden we rioting and protesting and they're gonna say, okay, all right, y'all win, you got it. We'll stop police brutality.
Yeah.
Who are we talking to? Who are we fighting against? This nigga Trump made it clear. This nigga Trump did this nigga Trump said the invisible enemy. The invisible enemy is here. You ain't fighting nothing but yourselves. I just did the video on the mirroring effect. You mad at yourself going out there. And I'm not talking to y'all chaos beings, because I know y'all ain't out there rioting and doing all this other stuff. And hey, you know, if you are, do what you do. You feel me? Go get a free TV. Come on and sell me that laptop. Shit, I ain't doing no tripping. Just don't try to tax me. I got 200 for you right now. What's up?
And when you say that too, real quick, because I want to talk about this with Kirk too, but the invisible enemy, that also makes me think about the movie Revolver.
Yeah.
And the ego, but keep going.
Oh yeah, you know we're gonna dive into that with Kirk for sure. For sure. And nah, that's it, man. Shoot, what else? My thing is, if you want to protest, if you want to beat them at their game or whatever this media tactic thing is, right? Use their powers against them. Man, what's that Sun Tzu quote? I should have pulled that shit up.
Oh, like basically you win the war fighting without fighting.
Yeah, that, see, Kurt be on it, boy. That's what I'm talking about. That hoe, yeah. Exactly.
Speaking of the George Floyd, I just want to say something. It's like, I made a post on my YouTube and I said, racism doesn't exist. Racism is a myth. And if you think about it, if somebody hits you, are you going to say, like, oh, are you going to blame their hands but not the person hitting you? Or are you going to blame the person that's hitting you? So racism is a cover. They're using, just think about it. The first thing that happened when this George Floyd shit popped up, they said, let's fight racism. let's fight racism. But you're fighting racism, but you never address the person behind the racism. So racism has become an energy. It's become a god. So they're feeding.
Ooh, that's deep.
So they're feeding their god.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
good.
What people can do, because Panic's always saying energy is up for grabs. Energy is up for grabs. But sometimes we don't think practically. Oh yeah, energy is up for grabs. Racism is a spirit that they're feeding, because I've never heard of Cripism or Bloodism. If a Crip shoots a blood, it was that person. I'm not dealing with the red flag. I'm dealing with the person. So they double back and they go shoot the person that did the thing. Exactly. So racism is their cover, and the attention. Let's fight racism. The war versus racism. Never the war versus the person that shot the pistol, because racism ain't never shot a pistol. If you ever seen a pistol shot by racism, it's a mind fuck. It's a now you're walking on the streets and you're fighting racism, but you're feeding their energy. So what you have to do, tap in where it hurts. Actually make yourself an altar with racism. Go buy a doll, put all the fucking racist logos, quote unquote racist logos, the Confederate flag, and use that energy, because they want to feed. Because when you're marching, you're breaking, you're chanting, all those vibrations, the fire, the breaking. I'm like, all right, I want to eat too. I'm hungry. Make an altar for racism. So now when they're eating, you're eating too.
That's good, Kurt.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah.
Ooh, love it.
Exactly what this thing is. It's praying. It's praying. You're giving out this energy and all of this other stuff. Because then when you look at it and you see this thing, you like, people are just so far gone with the media and, the manipulation of the media and how they're controlling their minds. Is like, we got to look past what this idiot box is feeding us. You know what I mean? And that doesn't even just rely to lay on TV. It also lays to the social media. We're pushing the agenda. I'm like, damn, I woke up the other day. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck is that? I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's in my, I'm like, God dang. I scroll on Facebook. That's all I see. Get off of that shit.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube. That's all I see. Get off of that shit. So then I'm like, all right, well, fuck. Damn, we're in this energy. It's thick. I can't even talk. I can't even call my mom without her saying, "You heard what happened to the?" Yeah, Mom, I know, I get it. But man, yeah, and that's huge, Kurt, and thank you for that. And your last video was power, hit it on the head, because you're stuck in this human box, right? You stuck in this prison because you feel like you have to be Mr. Human. Well, you got to choose, family. This is what I'm talking to y'all, chaos beings. Are you Mr. Physical or Mr. Metaphysical? Which one are you? Okay, and that's an important aspect right now, because they're going to constantly feed us with some kind of distraction. And as long as we don't pay no attention to them, hey, we can power up. Or just like Kurt said, power up by using the energy that's happening now. You see what I'm saying? And make that thing work for you. So yeah, man, anybody else on that George Floyd thing, man? There's so much stuff going on with it. I just it's like even to the point where, people saying it's all the way fake. Like they know and blah blah blah, and we get that part, but even when you put something out and the people start believing it, it starts to turn their energy real.
Exactly. Fake or not fake, organized or not organized, the ritual happened for everybody to see now. If a person can go find out that it's fake, okay, cool, but the signature was already done, so it doesn't really matter to debate about it.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So yeah, man, shout out to the family. Y'all know what to do. Take the motherfucking mask off. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't you looking crazy around me. Because at the end of the day, if the guy just said, I can't breathe, we got to look at this from a whole nother level. Okay, well, if he can't breathe and I'm a symbol of him, why the fuck I got this mask on? How the fuck are you going to be rioting with a mask on. That doesn't make no sense. You believe in what they say over here, but you see what I'm saying? You just all the way, but you want to fight the power. You all the way fucked up.
Because the other thing is I can't breathe. Remember, I think it was Dr. Alim Bey, he was saying a minority means a person that can't take care of themselves, so they need a guardian, which becomes the state. When you can't breathe, breathing is the most natural part of you. Everything else comes from your ability to breathe. They say two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time. So your breathing is your position on the grid. So if you can't breathe, it lets you know they want to take your place so that they could invoke another entity in your place. So now they're trying to, infringe your most basic and natural trait, which is breathing. So it's so deep, it's so complex. It's not, it goes beyond politics. It's occult what they're doing. But if we don't catch those little terms and those little tidbits, then
yeah. It's subtle. You know,
Right.
This is a movie, y'all. This is a show they're putting on. We look at the show and say, okay, we also understand on the spirit level, on the spirit realm, they're giving us these messages from, then you just got to pick up on them and say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I definitely got to breathe again, right? And I'm telling you, my auntie told me this. Shout out to her. She transitioned. She told me to take the mask off because y'all need to suck up this air and get into that sun. And hey, man, you know, hey, that's what it is. All right, man, let's get it in, man. Let's see what y'all talking about. Let's get it in. Thank you for that, Kurt. Yeah, man. So Kurt, man, look, tell us about how you became or how you came into consciousness, because you know a lot of people, they were born with it, they already knew. But you know, just give us a little tidbit of your journey.
But the earliest I could remember, I think I was like 5 or 6, and my mom, like contrary to the family, she didn't want to get me baptized. So it was a big deal in my family. It wasn't that they were religious, but it was like, yo, you know what? It's a sacrament, quote unquote, getting baptized. So I remember the earliest time I was at my grandmother's house, and I would go like where nobody could hear me, and I would say, fuck Jesus, fuck God, fuck Jesus, fuck God, fuck a 5-year-old. Like, and eventually I understood what it meant. At 5 or 6, it's like I was saying a mantra, and I didn't even know what that shit, but I was just saying a mantra, because when I was gonna come back online again, the energy would have a door to come in. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be all the way brainwashed. And one event happened was I was 6, and I'm 5 or 6. I'm walking in the street with my mom after saying, fuck Jesus, fuck God, fuck Jesus, fuck God. And then I think it was thunder or lightning. And I'm walking with her. And I remember looking, okay, is it gonna strike me now? Like what's happening? And it was my way to liberate myself from that dogma early on. So that was my introduction. Then it wasn't spiritual experiences such as I was like in my teenage years, and I'm like, I'm sleeping, you know what I'm saying? But when I wake up, I'm like, fuck, like I feel something. I don't know what it is. And it's not me seeing God saying, oh, you were chosen. No, it was just, I would wake up with this feeling like, yo, I came back from very far. It has nothing to do with the dreams that I saw, but I had this anxiety like, yo, like there's something I'm missing. There's something I have to do. There's something I have to do. And eventually when I got into this information, I was like, that's what it was. Because I thought that for the first 16 years of my life, for 16 to 17 years, I thought I was wasting. I'm like, there's something I'm not getting. And every time I would go to sleep, I would wake up in sweats, like what's going on? What's going on? And eventually I started working at a call center, and I meet this Pakistani brother. His name was Ali. And I never saw someone with light on their faces. So we started talking and we started exchanging, and every time I would speak to him, he would laugh and he would say, man, you're saying stuff that I'm reading in this book. I'm like, oh, what you're talking about? What book? I said, because I didn't know much about Islam. So I said, oh, the Quran. And he was like, no, the Najul Balagha. So we kept on talking and talking and talking. And eventually he told me, oh, this is my Imam, because he was from a sect of Islam called Shia Islam. And Shia Islam is the real deal, because it deals with Gnosticism, it deals with Sufism. It's an amalgamation of all of those. So eventually one day he looks at me and he says, oh, my first Imam, the name of the first Imam is Imam Ali. But when he said Imam Ali, I was like, I know this person. I just remembered. So and I just remembered, and eventually I went to the process for 2 years, just straight, like I stopped listening to music. I did a bunch of stuff that was prescribed in the Shia Islam / Sufi school. And I got far into it, but I felt like I was stalling. So one of my best friends, one day he sends me, first of all, he starts talking to me about chakras. I'm like, chakras? What the chakras? I remembered chakras from Naruto. I had some friends at school watching Naruto animes. I'm like, yo, you talking to me about some shit that these niggas watching Naruto? Like, I'm not into that. So I thought it was weird. But then he sends me a video of Dr. Phil Valentine. And I'm looking at this and I could not get in my eyes of what it was the 11-hour video, Somatic Death. I could not stop. I'm like, he's saying some crazy shit, but I could not stop. So as soon as I saw the video from Phil Valentine, I was like, okay, what's his reference? So I went and I downloaded the book by Ilton Otima, Man's Higher Consciousness, where they speak about breatharians. And after that, it was Bobby, Panic, and yeah, that was my journey.
Nice. That's good, Kurt. And where are you from, Kurt?
I'm Haitian. Well, my family's from Haiti, yeah.
Okay.
But now we live in Montreal. So I'm Canadian. In Canada, yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Because and you know, when you say that, when you referencing the Muslim religion and things of that, and the Indian religion, they are kind of closer to the spiritual concepts, if you will, just in the mindset of, like, you know, they're really going into deeper, more profound stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, like it's with them, it's about the work. And there's an Arabic term called marifa. Marifa, an Arif is a person or a mystic that has an encounter with what he believes in. So the fifth Imam of Shia Islam, his name is Imam al-Baqir. And ironically, they said that 6 out of the 12 Imams had African mothers. So even then, it was all a bunch of black shit. But yeah, so he said the worth of a man, the worth of any man is marifa. So if you don't have the experience and the understanding to back up what you are saying and what you believe in, you could say I believe in Allah, but if you don't have the experience of quote unquote Allah, it doesn't matter. It's worthless. So it was from those disciplines that I really understood the principle of understanding, because when you're in Shia Islam, most of the books are in Urdu or in Arabic. So I had access to maybe like 4 or 5 books for 2 years. I'm reading the same books over and over and over. So I had to develop a mind that it wants to extract the gems. It wants to understand, because at that time I didn't know about like all the other stuff, like the vast occult world, the symbology, Freemasonry, and all that stuff. So I had to do what I had to do. But I feel like those 2 years of having limited access to information gave me hunger. And that hunger is actually what you need to take a problem from the start to the finish and finish it and truly understand a problem. Because sometimes what happens with the books is you get a book and it's fun. Oh, cool, the information. But I said, you know what? once I started reading books and I felt like the information, it wasn't that the author didn't know what they were speaking of, but imagine, I don't know, how can I say this? Imagine you go to a famous, a very good producer's studio, and you see the entire machinery. It's all complex, but he has so much experience, so he knows what to do with the buttons. But the books, they give you a lot of information, but it's not like you have the capacity to utilize all those tools. So I said, let me focus on one thing that I can get good at, that I could gain confidence from, and eventually I'll go step by step to the other things. So I became very proficient at decoding my dreams. I said, you know what? That's the only thing I could do right now, because all that other shit, if I don't understand it, I'm not gonna do it. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So if I was reading a book, the symbols of the triangle and this and Solomon's square means that and Jacob's, but I'm okay, but like, how can I apply it to my day to day? Like, how does it change me? So I was always very hungry for information that would actually change me and my psyche.
Yeah, that's good, Kurt.
That's funny. That's funny that you say that, because this morning when I was, getting all ready, I literally had that thought in my mind about how do you come to the understanding? And so you just breaking all of that down is exactly in alignment with the thoughts that I was having this morning when I was thinking about our show. And so I want to know, what understandings, what experiences did you come to that led you to go by the name The Skeptical Spiritualist? What understandings, what revelations, aha moments that hit you that says, you know what, I'm the Skeptical Spiritualist? Because I think it's such an interesting name.
Yeah.
That there's some power there to be skeptical about these spiritual things.
Yeah. It's great question. Well, for instance, the only times as children we were dragged to church, we would laugh at the pastor. We would say, yo, let's fucking steal it. We weren't gonna steal it for real, but like, yo, we need to buy games. So we were very always, I got brought up in a very skeptical mindset. Even my mom, because she didn't want me to have any religion, obviously she gave me certain values and metrics to go by, but she was like, always keep your mind open. And her personally, she never wanted to, she doesn't want anyone to tell her how to do it, how to see it. Give me the information, I'll do my research and I'll come at it. So I'm very skeptical in nature, because what I've realized is that, for instance, in Islam, I was getting into heavy topics about the non-existence of Allah and about how Allah was a symbol to the mystics. But if I would talk to the quote unquote sheikh, a sheikh means old man in Arabic, they would say, no, you can't say that. Allah is. So I'm like, but yo, like, isn't this about going deep in the understanding? So eventually I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get anything there. And to be honest, one of the things that annoyed me the most was when I was reading a book and the author, I would look at the information, I would say, yeah, but you're not really saying anything. You're not really saying anything, because I'm sure you didn't have any realizations. Because I realized that most authors or teachers or whatever, they want to build a following. They want to make money, which is cool. You want to make money, but nobody's interested in the science. Me, I just want to know. I really want to know. So I started seeing that everything was not about the understanding, because if you have a piece of information that could actually help someone, how do I help someone? If I have a team, I want all my team to be able to go and make money for themselves. I'm not going to limit their grind or their options because I feel that they're not going to be dependent upon me. So I said, when I started reading about Jnana Yoga in Hinduism, I said, fuck it. I'm going in 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day. I was meditating. Why? Because I read, it shocked me. I read that some people were disciples of Sri Ramana Maharshi for 40 years and didn't understand his teachings. I'm like, I'm not going to give 40 years of my life to a person and still philosophize about their teachings. Nah, I'm going in. I'm going in. Same thing with boxing. Oh, yeah, I think I forgot this connection. Because I was into combat sports. In combat sports, for instance, when you're boxing and you hit a person, when you hurt them, you can feel it. You can smell it. It's your intuition. It's your you know it. So this ability to just zero in on the bullshit, it transpired all throughout my studies and in my life in general. So when I got to meditating 4 hours, 8 hours a day, pushing, I hit a wall. I realized, I was like, wait a second. They're talking about all this silence bullshit, but when I'm in silence, I know that I'm in silence. So I'm not really in silence. You know what I'm saying? So that brought me to wanting to know, okay, so what is the end goal of this? How much more can I meditate? Because I'm doing it to the best of my ability. But guess what? I'm always conscious of being conscious. So then I got to the realization, holy shit, the voice in my head is the quote unquote inner enemy. But I'm not gonna go too far because maybe you guys have.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And
that's
power, Kurt, because you know, if you can't explain this stuff to a fifth grader, right? You don't know it. You are not feeling it, and this feeling is the key. You know what I mean? When I'm expressing stuff that I know or understand, I'm just telling you the feeling that I'm getting or the understanding that I have, the aha moments that I have that's going to, you know, enliven another being or help you on your path and stuff like that. And, you know, I think that's an important aspect of this whole journey because, you know, a lot of them books, you know, they be saying they just boosting their own ego, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dive into in a minute, but
so true.
my books are like ancient future. Like Wayne Chandler is telling you, look, I found these historical facts here, blah blah blah, and then look, this is how you use the 7 laws of Tahuti. You see what I'm saying? And this is how it applies to your life, and you can actually read it, and then you can correlate it through your life and say, oh, okay, that's what, you know what I mean? Or Panic's book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Panic is another one. That's real good. All of Phil Cooper's books are pretty good. Who else? Lamalu Duquette is kind of good with that, kind of just giving it to you straight up and down, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's important, man, because if you ain't doing the work, if you ain't having your own understandings, then you know, it's all just words. It's all just ego driven. It just I know something that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's huge. That's huge. So yeah, let's get into this ego thing. Let's get into this ego.
To finish answering your question, sorry.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Go ahead.
So basically, skepticism also is everything. What I realize is that everything is based on trust. And what is the thing you trust the most? Yourself. So you have the ability, anything that you hear from anywhere, you are the first line of defense. So the belief, I'll be honest, even to this day, I'm not sold on the occult. I am not sold on the occult. Afterlife, I'm like, okay, but why do people want to have those beliefs? Why do we want to believe in those things? Well, because the voice in your head tells you, and the voice in your head is your very dear and near companion. So everything that it says, you will believe it, and it never gets checked. So I'm like, okay, so I'm living my life, but I can check everything. Okay, I could double reference. Okay, Dream said this. Let me go reference it to see. But when this person says it, it's cool. When I say it, nothing can verify it. So I'm like, so you gotta become a skeptic of your own self, and that's when you really get into the arcane aspect of spirituality.
That's dope.
That's it, Kurt.
That's it.
That's it. Because even this occult stuff or these groups or whatever we want to call, even when I say spirituality and all this other shit, right? We don't want to tie ourselves into no boxes. We just want to know and build on our understanding so we can grow in our journey. You see what I'm saying? So that's an important factor, because the ego will tell you, okay, man, you're Mr. Spiritual. You're Mr. Metaphysical, like I just said earlier.
Yeah.
You're Mr. Decode all these movies or whatever the fuck y'all want to believe. You see what I'm saying? So it's now a point to where you have to say, okay, I am that I am. I'm just gonna be, and I give up. I surrender. You see what I'm saying? The ego is still gonna be there because it's fighting you constantly, right? Because you you're human. You know what I'm saying? You're moving in this human realm, and you got to get things done, and there's still a level of protection that you have, right?
Absolutely.
But then at the end of the day, you look back and you look at it and say, okay, well, what am I protecting myself from? Judgment, ridicule, you know what I'm saying? This invisible enemy, like Trump was saying. So yeah, that's good. So man, the
So
ego.
talk to us. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Look, no, we were about to say the same thing, because you've done a lot of work on the ego. This is so funny, y'all. Make sure you join us on Patreon. I posted a challenge on Patreon because I've been diving into Kundalini yoga. I am not the master of Kundalini yoga, people. I'm just giving y'all what I experience, and want you to try it and see what happens to you. So I did this a couple of weeks ago is when the first time I actually did it, where you sit down in easy pose and you raise your arms up above your head and you do the breath of fire for 2 minutes, right? And your arms start burning like hell, right? And you really just want to put your arms down. And when I was sitting here doing it, I was actually on a fast, and my ego was like, this is too hard. This is too much to be doing while you're on the fast. You need to put your arms down. This is burning. The funny thing is that I wanted it so bad from a spiritual perspective that I was just like, no, I'm gonna keep going. And sure enough, you get to that wall, but when you break through spiritual breakthroughs as well, you realize a greater part of yourself. And so that exercise is called the ego buster, because you will start to hear your ego tell you, put your arms down, this is burning. Is this even really doing something? That whole conversation right there. So talk to us about how you have been able to identify your ego. And family, again, join us on Patreon, Love, Live, Life. Those are little things that the example that I just gave you is little things that I would post or Dream would post on Patreon to give you something to physically do to understand, what's actually happening in your mind. So talk to us about, simple ways that you identify, that you are able to identify or recognize when your ego is at play. And then what do you do to put your ego in its rightful place, which is, this tool that we use to navigate this human world?
Yeah, a very, very, very good question. You know what's funny? Physical exercise, even though it's not really graded in spirituality, is one of the best ways.
I'm telling you.
It's one of the best ways. Because you can actually get into the core of your ego or your programming in your body. If you plank for 5 minutes, if you're planking for 5 minutes, you will hear, and the pain will tell you, stop, stop, stop. So what you want to do, you want to stay enough to be able to hear. Why is it saying stop? Because technically, I have enough energy. So when you're training and you're going beyond what your body tells you, it's one of the fastest, most easy forms of reprogramming.
Yes.
You're running on the mountain, it's like, stop, stop, your legs hurt. Like, okay, but who's saying stop? Like, why? Am I going to die in the next 30 seconds? No, so why should I stop? And you just listen and you just listen and you get an insight. So one of the best ways that I identify my ego, well, everything, to me, my entire personality is my ego, period. So I have no divisions, but when I'm exposed to ridicule, when I'm shy in a situation, when I'm on stage. So me and Alex, and shout out to my nigga Alex, we were saying one of the best ways for people to get enlightenment is to expose yourself, to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Go to the club and go do stand-up. You have never done stand-up in your life. You're gonna get laughed at. You're gonna get, oh, who the fuck is that? But the feeling you're gonna have, you're gonna uncover your ego because it has no protection in that domain. So sometimes I make videos and I'm like, yo, I look crazy on the camera. I'm like, you know what? Good. Keep that, expose that, because now you have no control. You can't take it back. So the ego and all that dynamic, it's a game you play with yourself. So my thing is, I love playing games, and I love this game because it's fun. It's challenging. It challenges your emotions, your intellect. It challenges everything about you. So anything that makes you uncomfortable, anything that makes anything that risks of being able to poke your bubble or your bubble self-perception, how I want people to look at me. I'm a real nigga, or I'm a nice person. Just go to those places where you can't protect yourself. Because if you can't protect yourself, it's not spirituality. So a person could be doing spirituality, could be practicing spirituality, could be reading books for 5 or 6 years, and it's cool, they're getting something. But imagine a stand-up comedian. A stand-up comedian is getting a form of spirituality. Why do you think that Panic and Bobby were saying that Richard Pryor was a god? Because he was doing therapy on stage in front of millions, bearing his, it's, to me, that's courage. So that would be my answer, to make yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
I like that, Kurt. That's good.
Love
that the physical work. Damn. Yeah, that's powerful.
That's major key.
Because I used to be crazy in the gym. And I knew that I could pass, that I had certain thresholds that I could pass, and it was and I got to a point where I started to understand that, okay, this is in my head, this is in my mind. Me saying I can't do it. But the minute I say I am gonna do it, I am gonna go through this is key, because the ego is trying to protect you. And shit, you got fucking 400 pounds of weights on your chest, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh shit, if nobody, I got a spotter, but then again, shit. What if this nigga turn around and look at old chick or something, and now I'm fucked up? So yeah, man, that's it. That was powerful.
True.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that.
Shout out to Alex, man. Yeah. Go ahead, babe. What you saying?
No, yeah, I love that, because it's so true. And that's why that exercise Ego Buster is so good, because your arms start tingling and burning, and the thoughts. What I love that you said, which was my whole point in posting it to the Patreon family, is understanding how you're really communicating with yourself. What is your self-talk? And for me, I witnessed in that moment my mind say, no, this is hard. You can do this tomorrow, or do this after you've eaten some food. So I recognize that my ego will sometimes give me a scapegoat for not completing something. You know what I mean? And that's just the realness of the matter. But the more and more and more I practice it, because I started doing it on a daily basis, and the burn is still there, but my mind has gotten stronger to where I'm just like, I'm gonna do this. There's no question asked. I'm gonna get through these 2 minutes. And even if I bring my arms down for a second and pull them back up, I'm not gonna judge myself for that, right? It's so important, family, not to judge whenever you do fall short. Because what ends up happening when you do that is you give yourself a reason to have to fall short again. Because spirit is like, oh, you're gonna treat yourself like that, like you're a divine being. You're gonna let your ego tell you that what you did wasn't right, or so on and so forth. Let me, give you another opportunity to fail, so that you can love yourself at a deeper level and have compassion for your humanity at the end of the day. So That's so dope, family. So every day, you know, find something that is going to push you to the limit. And that's why you have to have different challenges. You have to have challenges, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, trauma per se, but I'm saying actually giving yourself something to work towards, be it meditating on a daily basis or fasting or abstaining from weed, alcohol, whatever it is that you need to do to give yourself some sort of challenge so that you can hear your ego, so that you can hear how you actually communicate with yourself. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's good, babe. Yeah. Especially in the spiritual world of this thing. You know what I'm saying? When you diving into spirit and you're doing, you know, spiritual work or researching or trying to understand yourself, it is okay to say, I don't know. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Let me figure this shit out. Let me try this thing. Let me see what happens when I get to my answers. See what I'm saying? Let me put up an altar or whatever and see what happens. Right? I don't know, so let me see.
That's a great point because, like D-Ray was saying, first, that's the key. Identifying your form of self-talk. What is the self-talk saying? How is it saying it? That is key, and that only comes from, if you read that in a book, you will not understand it. But if you're raising your arms for minutes and it's fucking hurting, you're gonna get it yourself. And
Facts.
this is what spirituality is about. It's about putting yourself in situations that are unconventional or uncomfortable. So you have to think in another way. It accelerates your thoughts. And back to your point about I don't know. I don't know is where you want to be in the end. I don't know, because if we think about the brain like a computer has a certain capacity for information. But once you've opened yourself to all forms of information, the brain will be overwhelmed and will say, I don't know. And that's when you're actually raised. But once you cling to information, it's like, it's a safety jacket, it's a safety net. So knowing becomes, but the goal is to not know. The goal is really to not know. Like I said in one of my videos, if I ask myself, oh, where are you? I'm gonna say I'm in Canada. Where? Montreal. Where? I'm in my living room or my office right now. Oh, where? This is on planet Earth, the solar system. But those are all words. Do we actually know where we are without words? Saying, if I say, oh, I'm on a blue planet, okay, but blue is a word that has to be defined by another word. So all the words are defined by other words. But beyond words, who knows a thing? And that's why you can't know with your mind, but you have to know with your quote unquote heart. So as long as we're in knowing and having information, you are still within the realm of your ego and you are still within the realm of your protecting yourself. So the end goal of this is I don't know and I don't care. That's the end goal of the entirety of spiritual practices.
Yes, Kurt.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Shout out to Kurt, man. Kurt, do this for the family real quick. Give them all the, give them your YouTube page. His links will be in the description, family. Links will definitely be in the description.
My YouTube page is The Skeptical Spiritualist, and I actually don't have my email. I think, okay, my email is 002 beyond. So 0 ZERO 2 with a 2 beyond. Beyond at gmail.com, and I do dream consultations. I teach you the science of actually decoding dreams based on mythology, based on astrology, and based on gematria. And I do normal consultations as well. So you can hit me up there.
Good.
Is that 2? Is it the number 2 or actually TO?
2. So 02 beyond.
And all his links will be in the description, family. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. And that's good. The dreams.
That's good. But hold on. Are you about to go in on dreams, babe?
Yeah, I was. But what you got, babe?
I just wanted to take a moment to say something, because you keep on saying things that really, ignite something within me. Just, thoughts, inspiration. And I just want the family in the chat to think about those experiences where we are in just sheer chaos, right?
Mm.
And we literally come to the understanding that we just don't know. How many of y'all have had those experiences? I'm talking about in your physical world, like shit is just going on, and you just don't know.
Exactly. I just don't
Like,
know about this George Floyd thing. Shit.
yeah, you sure right, babe. You did say that. You was just like, man, I just don't know. That space, when I contemplate on those moments to where I've been there in just that don't know space, it's really that space of infinite potential.
Wow. Yeah.
It's really the space of infinite potential, because I just be shaking my damn head. I'm just like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
What is going on? I don't know. I just don't know. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a space where so much stuff, so much information, so much knowledge can be pulled down. And I feel like this coronavirus definitely started off in that space of, I just don't know what the hell is going on. And we still kind of are in that space right now of, I just don't know. We just don't know what is going to happen going forward. And that's okay to be in that space.
But that coronavirus ain't going on no more. That shit ended 2 days ago. That shit is over with.
I'm not even talking about coronavirus per se. I'm talking about like how the world moves forward.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the world is actually, what our reality is going to look like going forward. Are people still wearing, masks in the store? Like, are kids going back to school? I just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know and I don't care. Looking at
facts.
Yeah, and that's the beauty thing of it, because at the end of the day, if we're here to destroy this world, this illusion, then now we say, oh, okay, well, is that what we're here to do, or are we just really just bullshitting ourselves? You see what I'm saying? We just speaking this shit because Bobby said it, and we say, oh, well, is the world actually going to be destroyed? I don't know. And do you really care if it's destroyed? There's a lot of things, like Khadija was saying, these attachments, right? Yeah, we got kids and stuff like that. Do we want them to have a human experience, or do we want them to come back to Zamunda with us and live on, the royalty or whatever, and say, oh yeah, we have to get rid of that thing real quick because y'all was just getting stuck in this cycle of reincarnation and reincarceration that shit. So yeah, man, that's power, family. It's power.
Well, get into those dreams, babe.
Yeah, let's get it. Kurt, let's dive into these dreams, because my dreams be off the chain. Telling you, I'll be in a whole nother realm with this thing, whole nother understanding. And the coding dreams is, it's a must.
Yeah.
It's a must. But then the grander aspect of it is when you're lucid dreaming. Now you're taking your whole experience into a whole nother level of consciousness. You're bringing your conscious mind to the dream space, and you're walking in there, and you're, understanding. Yeah, people want to fly and all this shit, but what I do is I just be the ultimate observer. Like Panic says, I'm the ultimate observer in this realm too. Man, I'm telling you, there's a few times I woke up and had days and had dreams, and then I was like, wait, did I dream that? Sometimes I ask my babe, you don't remember me telling you that? No, and I'll be like, oh shit, I think that was a dream.
True.
Because the lucid dreams gotten so vivid, gotten so interconnected with me. And hey, look, I got my dream supplements coming shortly, family. Trust and believe. I've just been being lazy, but they coming, they coming. So yeah, get into this dream recalls and the coding dreams, Kurt.
Okay, so the science of decoding dreams is very particular. I'm gonna give one aspect of it, and that aspect is the most important part. Imagine you live in a neighborhood and there's this guy and he sells let's say he sells pizza. So he's the biggest pizza boss there is. He runs the territory. So he's pulling in $10 million a month, right? So you move in and you start making, let's say, $2 million. So he was making $10 million and now he's making $2 million. So he's like, oh, what the fuck? What's going on with my profits? So he's a bit confused, like, okay, cool. Then the next month he made $7 million. So you made $3 million. So it's like, okay, so there's something going on. There's something that's not right. Who's that person? We need to crush him. And this describes the hero's journey, which is all the dreams, what dreams are. For instance, the key to dreaming is spiritual work. Why? Because your ego is that big guy that makes all this money. So all of your, when Bobby says, oh, your humanity, but we don't really understand what the humanity is and what the subconscious is. Basically, your subconscious or your ego within the realm of your subconscious is an entity that guzzles the most of your energy, and it guzzles the most of your energy based on the fact that it has to feed humanity. So everything that has to do with humanity is taking the most of your attention, and that's what your energy is. Your energy is your attention. So if your attention is on humanity, your ego is like a mob boss or a mob pizza boss. He's eating good. He's making $10 million a month. He's not worried. But then what happens? You start doing candle magic. So all the attention that it was getting in the form of money, now you're cutting into its profit. So it's like, yo, who the fuck is who's that new guy that moves on the block? But now you go to meditation. So now you're taking more and more away from its profits. Eventually, you get into deeper science, and your dreams will show you exactly what is going on. So if you have a dream that you're fighting, I don't know, you're fighting like John Wick, and you're in the church, like in the first John Wick movie, you will know, oh, okay, now I'm at the war with my ego, and I reached the part where I'm taking 50% of its energy, and I'm attacking the Volt, because in John Wick, the Volt basically was the heart chakra, or John Wick, Vigo is John Wick's shadow. So Vigo is using John Wick's insecurities, whatever, against John Wick to control him. So but what happened in the movie, John Wick went into the Vault and he burned it down. So his ego could no longer use his samskara, like Sifr Manel says, against him. So your dreams are nothing but mythology. That's why Yemaha is associated with the wind or the cemetery, Baron Samedi. So anytime you see an object in a dream, it's letting you know about an energy, about a god, and it's placing you in the mythology to let you know exactly where I'm in the war with my ego. But a lot of dreams obviously are your like if you saw something in the day, and sometimes it's your imagination. But when you're putting spiritual work, it's like you're literally at war with a mob boss or a cartel boss, and your dreams will indicate where you are in that process. So that's the utility of spiritual work. Spiritual work will not make you enlightened just because. Spiritual work is taking energy from your ego. Your ego controls your subconscious mind. The ego is between you and your subconscious mind, which is your way out. So to go back to Zamunda, like Dream just said, you need to defeat your ego. But it has all the energy. It runs the pizza trade. You're just a little shop. So what are you going to do? You have to keep on selling more pizza, refining your ways you could sell pizza. Eventually, you're tapping into the core of its energy. And that's why I speak a lot about sexual tantra, sexual alchemy, because your ego's primary source of energy against you is your sexual energy. So once you tap into your sexual energy and you take that away from your ego, now expect to see some wild shit in your dreams, because now you're really touching its money. But in most cases, dreams are mythology. It follows a mythological story, and it tells you where you are in the process of fighting your ego.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
And definitely with the sexual energy, when you're able to raise that up or understand that you can use this sexual energy or this fuel in, you know, your work or whatever, right? Like say you're in the visualization process. You're using that sexual energy to get more vivid or lucid in your process, because the feeling is the key to, you know, all of this. Because even in your dreams, you have a feeling mechanism, right?
True.
Some people wake up scared and oh shit.
Hmm.
People wake up happy and excited, or people wake up, you know, uh, whatever, you know, mad, you know, angry, or like, man, what that bitch do?
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So that kind of feeling is a powerful thing, because we start to understand that this feeling in the dream space is a key component to decoding, or, you know, like the work you do, Kurt, to understanding our dreams more. And that's huge, 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 huge.
And well, and the other aspect of dream decoding, if you don't understand mythology, if you don't understand astrology, because for instance, I was saying that in one of my consultations, you have a dream where, I don't know, you're getting something out of the mud. So your psyche is telling you you need to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Your psyche and your subconscious is always speaking through metaphors, through mythology, through symbols. So it's not as simple as seeing a fish and saying, "Oh, fish, pregnancy." No, there's many different ways you can go about it, and it goes back to the first point. You have to be ultimately confident in your ability, because one of the secrets of dream interpretation is that the dream is already interpreted. Your spirit is having the dream. So all you need, it's like going through the border. All you need to know is to have a vast enough array of knowledge. Okay, I know alchemy, I know voodoo, I know this, I know that. So when the dream comes to the border, it's not stopped by your ignorance. So you saw Jesus in your dream, and like, oh, Jesus is coming back. No, but maybe it was symbolizing something else, but because you haven't read enough and you don't have enough references, the dream cannot enter. So most dreams are interpreted for you if you have enough references. Just let the dream and it will interpret itself by itself if you just calm down, breathe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it. And
That's yeah.
because what the just what you were saying, like the what's them hoes called? Them idioms. You know what I'm saying? The idioms, when these words or
Yes.
uh uh play on parallel, like for instance, damn, what's the idiom that I use or that everybody know? Shit, I don't even what's the idiom, y'all, that y'all know off the top of your head? I can't even think of one.
Let me do it. Idiomatic.
Oh, I'm hitting, or wait. Oh, I'm gonna hit a home run.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Something like
yes.
that. And you see yourself playing baseball in the dreams, you know, you hit a home run.
There we go.
Obviously you can interpret that as, you know, I'm about to strike gold, whatever I fell asleep on, or what, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a big aspect, because there's layers to the decoding. Just like in this waking life, there's layers to the decoding that people do have to see past. And just like Kurt was saying, when you build up your repertoire with the study and the vast knowledge of, you know, oh, I read this and I start to understand that these animals mean this, you know, it's, oh, this animal means this in this mythology, and this means actually that. Now you can line up what your dream is trying to relay to you. So that's good, man. And yeah, his link, Kurt's link, will be in the description, so you can email him if you want your dreams interpreted. So
Another aspect about dreams that I forgot.
mm-hmm.
Black Dot wrote a great book on the history of hip hop and the 5 elements of hip hop. Panic and Bobby have been saying for years that the gods come through artists, but haven't you noticed that rap music is all about metaphors? So our learning or our relations with symbols, we don't have pyramids anymore. We don't have secret societies, but what we have, Nas just said this rhyme and I caught it 5 years later. Jay-Z said it, like, so we are programmed to understand symbols, to understand similes, to understand metaphors. So that's the way our ancestors gave us the keys to decode dreams and decode life. So we have no reason not to, like when my mom was saying, oh, you know those songs so well, but you don't know your math. Well, it's the same thing. If you know those songs, you can do dream interpretation by yourself. If you know the metaphors that Young Jeezy is saying, you know the metaphors that this rapper is saying, or Sam Cooke was singing a song, he was talking about Cupid and send back your bow, and you know what I'm saying? So all those things are metaphors, and music is our way to connect with symbology, but from the heart perspective. So if you let the music speak to your heart and you have a good relationship with music, you should be able to let the dreams communicate with you. And based on your understanding of music, it should be simple for you.
Yeah, definitely. That's power. That's power, because we all love music, and you are right. You are 1,000% right, Kurt, because we are creating our own mythology. Right? You know, they do it with this with these mimetic magic now, when they're basically saying we're creating these new symbols to, represent something, or these ideas to represent something that means something else. You know what I mean? And that's a huge aspect in this thing when we are in the dream space. And yeah, man, damn, that's good. All right, Kurt. So tell us about what's a routine you do to get into your dreams? Like, say for instance, you're like, man, this problem is on my mind. I just need to really dive in and figure this thing out. What's something you do to tap in?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Right now, I came to a point where it's so ironic, but I came to a point where I'm at war with my dreams. I've went to war with my dreams because I told myself, yo, this body is like a camera. The camera needs to be recharged. So when I go to sleep, my camera needs to be recharged. Cool. But if I'm a photograph and my camera needs to be recharged, I don't need to go to sleep with the camera. So I started doing the meditation like 2 or 3 years ago. I would close my eyes, and the only thing I would focus on is the blackness in the middle of my forehead. So even if I would fall asleep, I would feel my body falling asleep. I would keep on looking at the darkness to say, no, even when my consciousness goes to the darkness of sleep, I will be awakened. I will be awake. So what happens, I started seeing certain things in my dreams. For instance, I see something in my day, like, I don't know, I see a can on the floor, but the can looks like an explosive or a grenade. So then I go to sleep and I have a dream about a grenade or whatever. So I'm like, you motherfucker. So you're using what I'm seeing in the day to try to make dreams, to try to make me decode the dreams. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna decode shit. So eventually what started to happen is that now when I fall asleep, like, I don't really see images per se. My mind is there and I'm computing formulas. I'm just computing formulas. So right now I'm in the state where if I have a dream and it makes sense and it's decodable and I feel like it's a genuine dream, like I told you, I'm skeptical. So even with my dreams, I'm like, why should I decode this dream? What is particular about this dream? Are you trying to scare me? Are you trying to use a scare tactic? What is it? So if it's a genuine dream, it's a genuine channel, definitely I'll decode it. But for the most part right now, I'm at the point where I'm at war with my dreams. So I'm not really I don't have
So how do you determine which ones you will decode and which ones you don't? Is it a feeling? Is it a certain just knowing? I know a lot of times for me, I can feel when my dream is just, mind shit, like something that I just watched on TV and it's just replaying in my mind, which I can't stand those experiences, but it is what it is. And then I know and just have this inner feeling when there's meaning to a dream, right? How do you determine which ones to decode, which ones to just leave alone?
Well, it's a great point you said. It's mostly about the feeling, but also if there's specific, because I'm deep into the Kabbalah and Gematria, so if there's specific symbols, because I know that my ego is my enemy, so like I make no secrets about that. So whenever I get a message, I know it's gonna try to distort the message as much as it can. However, like I said, if my spirit is sending the message to itself and it can interpret the message, I just need to look from the eyes of my spirit and see what my ego cannot be able to see. So I don't know, for instance, there's a Coke can in the corner. So it's basically my spirit giving me a code. Okay, yo, this Coke can, okay, so I think about Coca-Cola. Okay, what the fuck does Coca-Cola mean? Okay. Oh, okay, Coke is black, dark. You know what? Akasha. I'm like, okay, I go with Akasha. Then I see something else in a dream that has to do with Akasha. I don't know. I would see the movie Transylvania Hotel was playing. I'm like, okay, Akasha, Aliyah, vampires. Okay. So now I'm able to pick certain elements in the dream and extract them from the quote unquote shit. So it's like alchemy basically. You take the valuable and you discard the rest. So that's how I do it. But mostly it's always about a feeling and seeing certain symbols in the dream that I feel have a meaning.
Yeah, that's good. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Well, if it's not too much, can you kind of tell us a little bit of how you do that for the people that you do it for? Because we can't, it's because everybody has their own mind, their own shit that they're going through. So how do you kind of streamline it to where you can actually give them the guidance that they need, if that's not too much of a
no, it's not too much at all. The first thing I ask the people, like when a client has a consultation and a dream reading with me, I'm like, okay, how you feeling these days? I just had a simple conversation. How you feeling? What are you doing? So eventually we get into the consultation and they tell me about what was up or what's happening in their lives. And then how I make them do it, I say, write down a dream that you thought was profound and that had a certain meaning to you. So but there has to be enough details for me to see specific quote unquote archetypes of symbols in the dream. So then I go generally, okay, you're telling me about snakes. Okay, that's this element. You're telling me about that. That's this element. Now, then I asked them, okay, but now what does that mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Not to the book that says snakes represent. No, to you, what does that mean? And then I walk them through a mythology. I'm like, okay, now what mythological character that you like? Oh, well, I don't know. I like let's say, I like Legba. You know, I like Legba a lot, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then I'm able to see, okay, based on what the person is saying and based on their energetic signature, I'm able to place the dream in the context of a mythology. One of the examples that I give is like, let's say a person has a dream. Oh shit, I saw my best friend and he had a blue face on and we were at this tailgate party for a football game and all my family was on this side and my friend was on this side and he was telling me to kill my family. So, and the person might wake up and say, oh fuck, my best friend is trying to murder me or my best friend is trying to have my family panic. I'm like, okay, but what blue deity do you know? Well, Shiva, Kali. I'm like, okay, well, then I tell them, what does the blue face represent to you? Well, I don't know, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, the blue represents an etheric being. That's off the bat. But when you saw your best friend telling you to kill all your family in the dream, what you were seeing was a scene from the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna was telling his best friend Arjuna that he had to go to war with his own egos. But in the mythology, his own egos were represented by his family and everything that he liked. So what does that tell you? It lets you know that you're in the beginning stages of the process of your quote unquote war versus yourself. So if you had that dream, that will let you know that you're in the beginning process of the war with yourself, for instance.
Good.
So
Yeah, that's good. Man, yeah, and these symbols are everything, man. Symbols speak to the subconscious mind. They tell a story. It's 1,000 words. And that's a powerful thing because these 1,000 words are coming in our waking life and in this dream state. And right now, in these chaotic times, or whatever, it's actually marvelous times for me because at the end of the day, out of chaos comes order, and we can feel things shifting in our consciousness and all of that. Give the family real quick, Kurt. This internet, the internet needs a body. Explain the concept of that to the family real quick.
Okay. Well, how it happened, this internet needs a body was I did a spell. I'm not gonna say the name of the company or whatever, but I realized that we're going into very different times.
Mm-hmm.
The energy source for the gods and the energy source for the planet is totally different, because a website could have 1,000,000 impressions, but 1,000,000 impressions is 1,000,000 eyes, and 1,000,000 eyes is a source of energy. So on the fourth, fifth, quote unquote, dimension, the war is a war for attention. So if you are able to have the attention of people and you are able to have a sigil in a situation, so let's say the biggest artist goes live and he has a specific symbol on him while he's feeding that symbol, and that symbol is saying, okay, this is the energy that we're feeding. So I put a spell on a certain website, major company, and I was able to feed. The way I made the spell, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna feed all of my ancestors. So every time there's a click, every time there's a like, every time there's a notification, I don't kid you. My mom, my grandma kept telling me, we keep seeing our ancestors, and we keep having dreams of food. And mind you, I didn't tell them that I put the spell on this company. So I had a dream where I saw a bunch of my ancestors that I've never seen, and they started introducing themselves to me, like, oh, yo, thank you, blah, blah. So I'm like, holy shit, this spell was very successful. But what it showed me was that ancestor money is cool, but now the war is different. Now there's a different source of energy, because every time a person gets a notification on Facebook, it releases dopamine. So if there's 1 billion notifications, there's 1 billion releases of dopamine. If you could get a container to contain this dopamine, then you are feasting. Because what is ancestor money? Ancestor money is basically a hell note or whatever. It's a bank that somebody put in the quote unquote astral realm. But there's so many different sources of energy that you can feed on. So if you find one and you're able to contain the energy and wield it and bring it back to you like I did, you're gonna have a blast. So, but the other aspect of that is I put this spell, so for 2 or 3 weeks, it's good. But on week 3, I'm like, yo, I'm feeling something. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck it was. I'm like, it's just, I felt like, and I'm like, yo, like my shit is tight. Like my defense, all my shit is good. So I'm like, what the fuck could be just, and then I realized it was my computer, because this company was telling me, yo, because you know when like Bobby said Christmas is a spirit, patriotism is a spirit. So I took the spirit of this $1 billion company and I bind it the same way you bind a jinn or a demon. I bind that spirit. So in the beginning, my computer was telling me shit that I was thinking, just giving you warnings, like, yo, like, I don't know, if I was thinking about a car, it would show me the exact car. What it was trying to tell me was like, yo, we're on to you. I know what you did. Undo the spell. But I'm like, man, you ain't gonna do shit. But on week 3, I started getting this feeling. And this feeling, what I understood it was my computer attacking me. Remember, Brother Yusef said, put protections on your computer, because they could definitely send quote unquote demonic energies through the computer. And that's what I was feeling. So as soon as I understood that there's some shit that was being sent to the computer. As soon as I put the sigil and the symbol of protection, bam, it all vanished away. But then I had to understand, like, yo, this shit, because basically the way I put my spell, I didn't put something to transmute the negative energy that was gonna come with binding this entity. So I said, fuck it, I just undid the spell. I said, I proved my point, it is what it is. But that's when I figured out, holy shit, if the computer could attack me, quote unquote, send me certain types of energies, I'm like, but where is this energy coming from? I didn't get where this energy was coming from. But then I realized, oh shit, it's the internet, all the negativity, all the deep web, the dark web, all the sick shit that's going on on the internet. The internet is a consciousness, so it can use. Now you take that with all the porn that's on the internet and all the people doing what they do with that stuff. It creates a vast entity, and this entity is very powerful. And now this entity, because we're exposed to the negativity of the internet when we're on our phones, we're on the computer, a troll, a virus, a malware. But now, if you tell the entire world that something is happening, there's a quote unquote whatever is happening, the entire world, what are they doing? They're opening themselves up. So I describe to you, this is how the door looks, but the door that I'm describing to you is a door that I want to make the internet come through. So I say you have this sickness. If you have those symptoms, you have this sickness. And this is the way they're trying to quote unquote pull the internet or the internet consciousness or the negativity that's on the internet to interact with our biological world.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're saying like the internet is a spirit now, just like kind of like what Panic talk about with the Orishas and shit like that.
Definitely, the internet is a spirit. The internet as a consciousness. The internet gets fed every day. The internet has signals. The internet is a full-blown consciousness. And with what's going on in the world right now, but the internet can only affect you if you're on your computer or if you're on your quote-unquote phone. But they're trying to pull, because like Brother Panic and Dr. Rolene Bay made a video concerning Beetlejuice and the energy coming in and whatever. So if they knew that was the case, that this energy was coming in, they need a source of energy powerful to counter this positive energy. So what is more powerful and what is more all-inclusive than the internet? And they tell you have those symptoms, blah, 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 blah. So now it opens people to a certain reality, and that's the reality of the internet's quote unquote body. That was just a theory that I had, but based on my experience, I kind of lean towards that theory.
No, that's good. Shoot, that's what it is. You should run with that theory, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you just got to look at this thing in totality and just start feeling this thing happening. And family, somebody will definitely tap in and understand what the name of this spirit is. It's probably one of these gods that's already in this demiurge type of energy, demiurge type of vibration. You know what I mean? And that's unique. That's kind of that. Yeah, that's it, man. But
look, the funny thing is though, when our phones, because it's doing this is a regular thing. Dream and I'll be talking about a hammock or something so random, and then we get on our phones and it's hella hammock ads. But here's the thing though, here's the funny thing. When them ads pop up that are in alignment with what you was just thinking about or talking about, you click on them shits. I know I do. But sometimes I be like, damn, this mug is really tapped into what I got going on. And I click on it and I'm like, damn, I'm reinforcing this shit, letting this energy know that they're right, that they got it.
Well, definitely, and definitely, the voice recognition thing is there, but then the internet is just like that video I just did. It's a mirroring effect. Just like Kurt was saying with this whole energy, we know that the demiurge is you, So now, as we know, the ego, this thing is reflecting back on you. So now what you're feeding into it, or what you're speaking into it, or what you're going searching for is a reflection of your own consciousness. So for instance, if I look at fucking World Star Hip Hop all day,
Yeah.
I'm a World Star Hip Hop ass nigga, and that's the kind of vibration that I keep on looking, mirroring, right, myself with in the grand aspect of this thing. So yeah, that's crazy, man.
Because at the end of the day, the internet is the world's ego. The entire world is one consciousness, and the internet is the world's ego. Like I was saying, they take, if something happens on the news, they say Twitter roasted such and such person. But I'm like, nah, Twitter is not a person. Say out of $400 million, out of 400 million users of Twitter, 150 people commented on that, and then you give out this person, this user A, user B. It's not Twitter. Twitter is not a person, but that's what they're doing. They're personifying those things. So Twitter, you know what I'm saying? So Facebook said this. Oh, Facebook dragged this person. Oh, this person is getting backlash from Instagram. Who the fuck is
Black
Instagram?
Twitter?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, exactly. Black Who the fuck is Black
a whole
Twitter?
entity.
Yeah, it's an entity, exactly.
Yeah. Damn, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And trust me, the channel will come to where we find out which God this is.
That's deep. It's super deep when it comes to Facebook too. I'm sorry for interrupting you, babe. Go ahead.
No, these guys will fuck with you though, man. You know, shoot, even though it's your own mind, it's still on the other side doing things because you know the ego is always in the way. All right, let's move on. Let's get it in. That's power, man. Babe, you had another question?
I do. I want to talk about Kabbalah because it seems like it's coming up a lot in Hood Mystics class. It was, circled around Kabbalah. I did a reading, and some of the cards that came out were in alignment with Kabbalah. I haven't really studied it in deep detail in that way. But it seems to come up for me kind of randomly. So for example, if I'm seeing my first times really diving into it, I was seeing like the number 5 everywhere, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And my spirit just led me to look at Kabbalah and see what the 5th Sephirah was. And that's kind of how I just got into that. And I think it was like a Gibberah or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into it. And I looked at that for a little while and understood what that actually meant. And then I kind of moved on. So where does a person start when they're getting into Kabbalah? What is the point of studying Kabbalah? Just give us a rundown, in brief of where do we go when we're diving into that science?
Great question. One of the great masters, A.A. Rashid, he said Kabbalah is based on West African traditional magic. So it's hard, how can I say it? Kabbalah basically is like, you have a website and you have the behind the website. So Kabbalah is like going into the codes of things specifically. It gives you the picture of what is behind. Remember I was telling you, if I have a dream and I see you and I see dream and I see myself, I know I didn't see people for real. I'm like, okay, I saw your astrological sign, my astrological sign, and dreams astrological sign. Why? Because there's something called the 3 mother letters, Aleph, Shin, Mem. Then you have the 7 double letters, which are associated with the planets, and you have the 12 simple letters, which are associated with
zodiac.
With the zodiac. So basically, the Kabbalah it gives you an insight into what's going on in the background. But the problem with the Kabbalah is that 70% of it is mind control also. 70% is ritualized mind control. So if you don't dig in personally and go take out what's good and what's not good, and then you have to ask yourself, okay, how do I know what's good and what's not good? So I told myself, okay, what really exists? The only thing that really exists are numbers, the numbers from 1 to 9, and anything beyond 1 to 9 is like a double. You know what I'm saying? So in the Kabbalah you have 22 letters, but you know that there's only 1 to 9. So all the other letters of the Kabbalah that are not from 1 to 9 are doubles of the first 9 letters. So it gets really intricate, and it's a very personal path. Like, a person cannot teach you the Kabbalah, because what you're doing is like I said, you're uncovering what's behind what we see. So it's I couldn't really tell a person how to get into the Kabbalah, but I could definitely say, go get Lon Milo DeQuette's book, Chicken Kabbalah, and then just study the letters, study the 22 letters, study geometry, study the cube, because the entire Kabbalistic principle is centered around the cube. But I'm going to be honest, 99% of what I learned about the Kabbalah, it was not written in the books, and I had to go through trial and error. And if you give those codes out to someone, it won't mean anything to them. You know what I'm saying? So the basis of the Kabbalah is, if I had to say it in one word, it gives you what is behind the veil, quote unquote, but then it's a free for all. You have to go with your own intuition and make yeah.
So essentially, because I love Dream, I love what you discovered with the loft, well, with 823 and the 23 God, and then of course Panic's video talking about the law of 23, that 23 skidoo, and basically talking about going beyond the structure, or this 22, the 12 zodiac, the 7 chakras and things of that nature. So babe, you shining that light with the 823 God was so important. So essentially what we're saying is Kabbalah is just different pathways of getting to higher levels of consciousness. Kabbalah is basically different pathways to overcoming humanity. Is that what I'm understanding? Because from what I was understanding from Hood's class, is that there's just all of these different paths, and how each Sephira has a zodiacal meaning and a certain energy. Yeah. So is that what we're basically talking about?
At the introductory level, but when you dig deeper, you find out that it's not really the case. Like, if, let me see if I could draw this. And he'll be able to.
Shout out to Michael Bell. Michael Bell will be on to Sunday service in June. Are we in June? Yeah, June. Along with Black Dot.
So this is a pentagram, right? This is a pentagram, but it's composed of what? It's composed of 5 lines. Yes. Now I could have done the 5 lines like this. So this is 5 lines, and this is 5 lines. But if I do the total angles of this, it equals to 540. Now, if I go here, I have the same house as here, which is the pentagram. It's 540, but I have 5 additional triangles, and those 5 additional triangles are 180 degrees each, and 180 times 5 equals 900 degrees. So by tracing the pentagram like this, by following those angles, I was able to add 900 degrees, right? But now in the Kabbalah, you have a ritual. It's called the lower banishing ritual of the pentagram. So essentially, I'm placing I'm placing Raphael in front of me.
Archangels all around you.
Exactly. Raphael here. I'm placing Michael here. I'm placing Gabriel here. And I'm placing Uriel here. So I did 5 pentagrams, and it adds 900 degrees. So if you do 900 degrees times 4, it gives you 3,600. So now they were able to add by making you take certain angles, that's why Bobby was saying fuck those angels, because they're making you take certain angles and you're building a reality for them. Because if I just do the 5, if I just take the 5 and I do them like this, it's a house. But now I've added 900 degrees. So now 900 degrees times 4, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael equals 36. But now if I look at those sticks, oh, they're straight lines. No, because in Kabbalah, a line is Aleph, and Aleph is worth 111. So let's continue the exercise. So now I have four pentagrams with 5 lines each. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 111, because 111 is the value of one line. So so 20 times 111 is 2220. Then you're like, oh shit, I've heard those numbers before. Oh, Rick Ross was saying I was in room 222. Or Jay-Z on Reasonable Doubt, he said, what did he say? He said 22 twos. So they're talking about Kabbalistic shit. So now I have the 22 twos. So I'm like, okay, but what does that mean, 222? Somebody will say, oh, it's an angel number. I'm like, no, I need to dig further. There's something called the Aleph, or the sun square. It's the sun square is a square where if you take, there's 36 numbers, and in whatever direction you're taking them, it gives you 111. So there's now there's 36 numbers, right? And in all the directions you take those 36 numbers, it gives you 111. So the 3600 that was added by taking those angles is what this sun square is about. So now they made you create 900 degrees times 4, which is 36. They make a sun square with 36 numbers, and if I calculate all the first line, it gives me 111. The second line, 111. So basically, they've created a world for you, and they're controlling this world because they control Aleph, which is 111. You get what I'm trying to?
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, you teaching up in here. You done brought out the visuals and all that.
So basically, when we're doing anything, even tracing a pentagram, I'm like, why would I trace a pentagram? What do those lines mean? And I had to figure out, oh shit, it means Aleph, which is 111. And 111, could you dream? I think, can you pull out the sun square? Could you think you could put it on the screen? So I think it's gonna be better if people could see it visually.
Yeah, let me see. Says sun square.
Yeah, sun square 111.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know what I was experiencing at the time. It was a couple of years, probably like a year or two ago, where I just kept on seeing 5, and it was just not enough, thinking about, how we all know the number 5, that's change and things like that. Yeah. But something had pulled me to look at the 5th Sephira, and that's kind of how it started for me. But I didn't go in too much detail with it. I just was understanding, okay, we're talking about judgment, we're talking about severity, we're talking about having compassion, so on and so forth.
The number, if you look at this, the number 5, that's actually the number 5. So the number 5 is a protection. You have the hand of Fatima in Arabic. You see the hand like this in the Muslim countries. The 5 is protection, because once you do this pentagram, the house is now protected by quote unquote 5 elements. So it's a symbol of protection also.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
gotcha. Love it.
Trying to make it bigger, but
yeah, this one is good. This one is good. This one, yeah, this one.
Okay. Can y'all see that?
Yeah. So I'm giving out a big secret, but it is what it is. Let's go. I'm gonna explain again. You have
babe, you should have just kept it right there. It was fine.
Where is it?
Go back to just the Google screen, because at least it made it bigger.
Okay, this one. I think
that one. See,
Okay.
Zoom is, I'm on YouTube and Zoom. So Zoom, yes, let's leave it right there. I think that's bigger for the people from what I see on my screen.
Okay. I can't see.
You asked me a question and I don't really want to give bullshit and say bullshit, so I'm just gonna go into real science of it. So
That's what's up.
so you see here, you have if I just trace 5 lines like this, it's gonna give me a house like this, right?
Mhm.
But by taking this angle and creating a pentagram to this house, I added 5 triangles. And those 5 triangles, when you add them together, 5 times 180, it gives you 900. But remember, I have 900. I don't consider the 0, so it's really 9. But I do 4 like this. I have 4 like those. 4 like those times 900, it's 3600, right? So the 36, the 900 that was added from going by doing this instead of doing like this and creating a house gives you 36. And this 36 is ruled by Aleph, which is this sun square. So this sun square, no matter in what direction you're calculating, it will always give you 111, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 111 is the number of Aleph. So like I said, I have 4 pentagrams, which are 5 lines. So I have 4 times 5, which is 20. 20. Now I do 20 times the value of Aleph, which is 111. So it's 2, 2, 2, 2. Now, if you look here, you see there's a cross in the middle here. Do you see a dream?
Oh yeah, I see this one. Yeah.
You see this one? It's a cross, and that's the 2220. That 2220 says whoever is in control of this cross is in control of all that is happening in the 36 in the 36 numbers here. But those 36 numbers are ruled by Aleph, and Aleph is what is 111. And we did 20 times 111 for 222, which is the cross in the middle. But if you pay attention here, 36 is the 5 triangles. That 36 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 180 is 900. So 36. I don't. Shit. Am I being understood? I feel like I'm.
No, you getting there, Kurt. You get it. You got it. Come on. You got it.
Let me focus. By taking those angles when you're tracing the pentagram, you create 900 extra degrees. Because if I trace the house like this, I only have 540 degrees. But when I trace it in that way, I create on top of the 440, that 540 that's already there, I create 5 additional triangles. And those are equal. 5 times 180 is 900. But I have 4 archangels that I'm placing around me. So it's 3600. But in gematria, you take off the zeros. So essentially, the 36 that's around those houses is represented in the 36 letters here. And basically, the sun square here is a way to lock you down. So the ritual of the Lord banishing ritual is a way to lock you down, because if you create 3600 degrees, you are being ruled by the 5 triangles around each arcangle that you placed around you, and it's ruled by Aleph, which is 111. So that's what I'm trying to explain. So a lot of those rituals are actually we're being told that we're doing something to quote unquote cleanse our energy, but we're locking ourselves down to those Kabbalistic principles.
Yeah, you're going in circle. You're going in a circle.
Yeah.
You're in a box. You're trapped in this box, in this square. So you're just running around in the circle of a circle of life, basically.
Yeah.
Stuck in that thing.
Gotcha.
That's good. That's good. And reference the book again, or reference a book where people can dive into that even more.
You could get the book. You could get the book Shamanic Kabbalah.
Shamanic Kabbalah, okay.
By Simon Oller.
Shamanic Kabbalah.
Shamanic Kabbalah by Simon Simon Oler Holer.
All right, Shamanic Kabbalah family. Y'all got it in the chat room. Let me type that in for y'all. Because I know the family wants to know. Man, we got the guy Kurt on here, man. Man, powerful share, Kurt. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Appreciate the.
I hope I wasn't too convoluted. Like,
nah, but that's the thing. We have to understand that, you know, somebody like when I first took painting class, right?
Mhm.
You know, people say, "Oh, I got," you know, you could think, "Oh, yeah, I got it." But when you re-listen, when you the process and re-listen, you can be, "Oh, damn, that's what Kurt was talking about. I got it."
Right.
And then you read something, and then you, "Oh, okay, I see where he's coming from with that," and you know, and it starts to enlighten you, right? We're going to this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We're trying to grasp the understanding so we can become, or we can get out of this box, if you feel me. So that's good. That's good.
because I wanted to be honest and show that the Kabbalah is there's a side that will definitely liberate you, but there's another side it's full of lockdown and subtle lockdown rituals to lock down your energy. And basically, once you're doing certain Kabbalistic rituals, it's like you're signing contracts. You're signing contracts to certain entities and intelligences, and you're putting your energy under the banner of those intelligences if you don't know what you're doing. That's why I don't really like to speak about the Kabbalah, because it's a individual experience for every person that has to go through it.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
Shout out to the guy at AA Rashid, man. You know what it is for real with that, man. And shout out to Kurt. Kurt, give them your information again. Give them all the stuff that you have in line for the family, your services, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, let me go check my Gmail. My Gmail again, like if you want a consultation, if you want a dream reading, my Gmail is, let me see.
I got 0 to beyond.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure I spell it right. Do you have my Gmail?
Yeah, I got it. It's 0 to beyond. That I'm gonna put it in right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, family, 0 to beyond at gmail.com, family. It's going down. Both with the guy Kurt, he's dropping a plethora of information on his page, The Skeptical Spiritualist. And man, I'm talking about it's nothing but light. And man, I appreciate when family come in.
Right.
And you know, and it's good, it's refreshing, because we need this kind of information to come from different angles, come from different sources. And Kurt coming in at the right time to penetrate the conscious community and give y'all what y'all need. You feel me? And it's perfect. So everybody need to be on Kurt's page. Y'all go subscribe right now, because the guy is dropping nothing but major. Kurt coming in at the right time. You feel me? So let's get it in. All right. Anything else, man? Hey, look, family, powerful times ahead of us, powerful times with us. Y'all make sure y'all keep the main thing, which is your mind.
Right.
Right. Stay in alignment with that, because that's where the power lies. Okay, we have to understand that this distraction is just that, is to throw off the people that's actually doing the work, the spiritual people that's actually doing work and going within to convolute their mind. Right. And we don't want to be running in circles talking about this stuff, because you know it's a big game, it's a big catch-22. Get you looking this way, while at the other end I'm powering up my being. I'm keeping y'all here locked down into this earth realm.
Right.
Y'all, you know, you stuck in this emotionalism. You can't get out of it. So man, y'all know what it is. Get out and stop wearing them motherfucking masks. Man, and patreon.com/lovelifelife. Lovelifelife.com. Go get your spiritual tools. Our dream supplements will be here in 2 weeks.
What do you put in your, like, can't ask you your secret, but what are the supplements like about?
Man, it's good. It's Harataki, Ashwagandha, and mugworts. And these are 3 things that I kind of formulated throughout the years to, you know, manipulate my dream space. You know, y'all can go ahead, go at it, but I just kind of put it all together so, you know, you can run the gambit on your dream world. And it's a powerful thing because you want to get into this dream space and be the knower. Start falling in love with your dreams. You know, and also there's some different techniques and tools that you want to do even while taking the supplements. But at the end of the day, I know this supplement will help aid you into getting in there and start to understand what this dream world really is. Okay. So that's the power. What else we got? Go get y'all shake cards. Y'all know what it is. Babe, you got anything else?
Yes, definitely. Womb Alchemy is going down June 27th. Go check out multiple videos I already have on YouTube regarding the process, regarding what we're going to be talking about. I also just posted on my community tab a blog that I wrote that explains why and how I came up with this concept. So please check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if you know you got a wife, sister, mama, or something who is even remotely interested in her feminine energy and her feminine power, this class is for her. If you have any ailments or uncomfortabilities, this class is for you. If you have blockages in your manifestation, this class is for you. If you just want to get to know who you are at a deeper level, this class is for you. It's going down June 27th, and I'm so excited about it. And I have no doubts in my mind at how, if you do the work and understand the concepts that I'm going to present to you based off of my own experiences, you will be transformed as well. I have no doubt in my mind, and I'm super excited about it. So Womb Alchemy is for my goddesses. Tap in. Go to my website, relationshipalchemy.org, and you'll find all the information you need to know there.
Yes, family. And next Sunday, we got the guy, Kevin. And he's going to be talking about some stuff that you want to hear, family. Powering up. Hey, this is going to be a very interesting show. Let me just say that. But we got him coming on. You don't want to miss it, because then you're going to miss out on something else that, you know, let me just say, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we'll see y'all in the next time, man. And shout out to the guy Kurt again, man. You know we're gonna do it again.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. You guys are very genuine, and the work you guys do is very genuine. Like I like it. I like it a lot. It's sincere. So I want to thank you guys for having me. It's cool.
Yes.
That's love.
Kurt, appreciate you. And next time, we'll see y'all next time, family. Peace out.
All right.
Peace, lovely ones.